Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Welcome to all of you amazing chamber executives and presidents, and those of you that really are the heart of our community, our business community, our ecosystem, and our economy. My name is Shannon Procyse, the president of the Business Acceleration Network, and I am really thrilled to be here today. I love Florida Association of Chamber Professionals. I want to give a big thanks to Tammy for all that she does. Oh, I forgot I have to go on this slide. So thank you, Tammy, so much for all you do to really foster the topic that we're talking about today, which is collaboration. You are the heart of Florida in so many ways, and I just, hats off to you for all that you do with your events and bringing people together. And so just a little bit about me. I, at a very young age, had a little bit of disruption. Grew up in a home where I, ended up being put in a foster home, and it really in this foster home, I have to tell you, it inspired me to see how people can love people that they don't know. It was such a beautiful experience to know that through community, through connections, through really this servant's heart, that we can make a bigger impact when we come together. And during that time period, over the last couple of decades, started really seeing the power of the chamber, seeing the power of the Home Builders and Contractors Association, seeing the power of nonprofits, and seeing how we have the ability to create a movement when we come together with a shared vision. So today, my goal for you is to help you guys accelerate your growth as a chamber, have some fun. And I know we've had some technical things, so please bear with us. We're going to open it up for Q&A at the end, or please post things in the question. And Tammy, if there's something that you see as important, please feel free to interrupt me, because I may get in my flow, and if there's something that you think I need to answer, please do that. And then really help you create that bigger impact in your community. And so just real quick, you may say, what is the Business Acceleration Network? We're a trailblazing community of conscious business owners who are here to make an impact like you are at the Chamber. We're reinventing community and collaboration in entrepreneurship. And so why is this important? So a lot of you are already master collaborators. And my goal today is to inspire you to really look at how to take it to that next level. You may already, and if you do, please let me know in the Q&A. Do you already have somebody that's in charge of community development? Do you already have somebody that's working to create those power partners? Because one of the things that happens when we create joint ventures and collaboration and really work to grow with that being at the forefront, we can overcome so many challenges. I've seen a lot of chambers fly up to Tallahassee and get change. I've seen individuals or organizations like Florida Association of Chamber Professionals, where you guys all get to come together and problem solve and resource share and things like that. And it really allows us to move forward so much faster. And it also helps us build a sustainable future. When we collaborate and we look at this, it becomes a foundation that we can count on. It becomes something that when we know that we've got a partner, or we know that we have somebody that's on our side, on our team, it builds that sustainability for the chamber. I know, Tammy, I was so honored to speak at one of your conferences a couple of years ago, and a lot of, I was hearing a lot of chambers merging. I was hearing some of them shut down, and I was really, first off, inspired by how people were coming together to build that sustainable chamber. Also, it strengthens our community, and it helps us create more successful events and provides more value for our members. Now, I live here in Brevard County, Florida. We have 4 Chamber of Commerce, and I have the opportunity. I've been a member of 3 of them. Titusville's a little far away, but I'm going to really share some of what stands out in one of our Chamber of Commerce with the Greater Palm Bay Chamber of Commerce, because I feel like she really has been at the forefront of collaboration and kind of opening that doorway. And I look forward to hearing from you guys at the end on kind of what the Q&A, what the Q&A is. So today, first off, we started with why. I'm going to talk to you about how. I'm going to give you some great ideas on who to collaborate, and hopefully I inspire you to think about who can I connect with to do that, and what to do, what to say, and how to do that. And then we'll open it up for Q&A at the end. And so the biggest reason why is this is where we get to grow our membership. This is where we get to lighten the load. Some of you've probably heard the statement of many hands lighten the load. I don't know if that's exactly how it goes, but that's really the idea of what we're doing and how to reach those new the new member base that we might be looking at with growing. And so I'm going to shut this off, and I'm going to go right into some of the ideas on what to do with that. So collaboration is, when we look at creating successful events, all of you guys are in the event business, and I know you're always looking for, or I believe you're always looking for sponsors, you're looking for trustees, you're looking for attendees, you're also looking for other organizations that you may be partnering with. So when we look at events, as we go through this, I want you to be thinking about who are potential partners that you may be able to collaborate with events. Also, who might be doing an event that you may be able to partner with and help get the exposure, help get stage time, help get a booth or whatever that may be. And I know many of you are already naturally doing that, but I want to just remind you that events, a lot of times having somebody else do all the work and you show up with your gifts of, we've got a community, we can help co-market, we can add value with education and resources, then that can be a really powerful way to grow your event impact in your community. Now, I know in Brevard County, Nancy Matthews has really put a stake in the ground for some unique events. And if you have not looked at what she's doing, she does a mayor's breakfast. And this woman gets every single mayor in the entire county together to do a breakfast. And I'm telling you, she has a number of events that are like that, but just this one event allows the media to partner with her. She attracts sponsors that she wouldn't normally attract. She gets the government involved because now she has the mayors involved to give updates. And it's usually a 3 to 4 hour event. She streams it live on her Facebook. So while they're doing it, it's allowed to stream. And what's really powerful with Zoom and some of what we do, if you have the Zoom version in the webinar, you can actually stream live to your specific channel. And that doesn't cost a lot of money. You can set up it's nice if you have the budget to be able to get a film crew and things like that, or even partner with a film crew. You could even say, hey, you want to collaborate? We'll showcase you. We'll give you sponsorship if you help us stream live. But that streaming live event for our particular chamber, it becomes viral. People start sharing it. They start tagging the members. And that one event really has helped this particular chamber grow in a huge way. The other thing that she does is every single year she also does some sort of innovation event. And this last year it was about transportation. She had the head of the state from transportation come and speak from the Department of Transportation. She also brought in people from the Space Center, people that are bringing in innovation to Florida with transportation. Again, this event had hundreds of people that reached out, that she partnered with, that she would have never been able to, well, don't want to say never. It's much easier for her to attract and bring in because of the partnership and because of that that message. Like, a lot of business owners want to know what's happening in our area with political like she does with the mayor, and also with transportation and some of the innovation. We're in the Space Center, so we, like, oh my gosh, we found out people are putting down $100,000 deposit, and they're getting ready to go to space, and they have a bar. I mean, it was really nuts. So to be a part of these, the first year can be a little bit different, but the years after that, it's like now she sells out in advance, she gets sponsorship, she gets trustees. It's like people really look for her innovation events. So start thinking about what are those signature events that you can do in your area that can really make you stand out, and who can you partner with to help create it. So that's one thing. And then are there other events that other organizations that align with your core values, that align with your mission and vision of what we're doing to support businesses, and see how you can support them. All right, any questions about events? I'm going to keep going here. If not, or we can open up at the end. And if you want to put the questions in so we make sure we get those answered at the end, we can do that. So the other piece is, let's see here, I took so many notes and I'm really excited to share all of these with you. The other thing is looking at where you can tap into partnering with organizations that have a wider network of resources, knowledge, and expertise. So one is other chambers in your area. That's really important to collaborate and find ways to play together. The other is media outlets. I know that when I first came to Brevard County almost 20 years ago, one of the chambers actually used to give us a media list as a member. I have to tell you, that right there made me sign up and pay the fee. I was like, oh my gosh, they're giving me the media contacts. Having those media outlets, as you know, and I know many of you already do this, but I just want to remind you that those are those partners. Those are those individuals that you want to find ways to bring them in, and you want to find ways to support what they're doing. Anything with collaboration is relationships. It's not all transactional. Relationships lead to transactions, but you want to be doing that. So local papers, we've got Miami Herald, Tampa Bay Times, Orlando Sentinel, local TV stations, NBC, ABC, find out who your local TV stations are. Local radio networks, lifestyle magazines, entertainment magazines, local business publications. These are also great. I know at our local chambers, a lot of them become trustees and they do media exchanges. But when they find out that there's great events, some of them just want to sponsor because they can get, they can get recognition of being a part of that. Any online news sites. I know here locally we have, they do a magazine that they print periodically, but a majority of their news is online. So that's another one. Any outdoor advertising, who runs the bus, the buses, the billboards, things like that. Event sponsors. Again, I'm talking a lot about events because I know we're really in the event business. We bring people together. We provide information that way. Events are another way, to me, that I consider a media outlet. If you can get in front of a business community or let's say it's a contracting community like HBCA or other associations that are doing events, this is a great way to consider a marketing outlet. And so I just want to plant that seed again. That media list is really powerful. And to have somebody on your team that's feeding them press releases, nurturing those relationships, finding out what they have going on, that can be a great partnership to consider. The other is local business associations. So local business associations should all be members of the chamber. And a lot of times as a membership organization, we get our head down on we're trying to build our membership. But when associations come together, there's really some powerful things that can happen. You can find ways to do co-events, and you can find ways to really cross-pollinate your membership. So I'm going to just plant some seeds. And again, I'm going to give all of these to Tammy to be able to forward on. But where's a women-owned business association? A lot of these young professionals, majority-owned business associations. small business associations, merchant associations. Here we have we have an old downtown Melbourne and we have a downtown Melbourne. Well, they have a business association. So I always look at anytime I want to have an impact, I find out who has the largest body of people. And I usually start with media and associations. So those are the top two if you're looking at partnership to really connect with and see how you can partner with them. You want to know their events. When you're doing your year, 2 year, 3 year in advance, you want to know what are the major events that they're doing and how can you guys play together. Also the economic development organizations. And I have to say, when I started looking at what are the organizations, we've all heard of the EDC. And I know for our chamber, we have a representative that goes to all the EDCs and they're on the board and that's their role. And their role is to be very active with that. But when I started looking at other organizations, like Tampa Bay Economic Development Council, Miami-Dade Beacon Council, Greater Fort Lauderdale Alliance. Like there's so many economic development organizations, accelerators, incubators, things like that that are making a big impact. Florida Small Business Development Center Network, Florida Economic Development Council. Find out those organizations, and I have to tell you, some of them have money. Like some of them have money that they want to give to things that are developing. And I know that some of you already know this, so find the gems that you can use that are new and go with that. So the economic development organizations are another really powerful role. Trade associations, Association of Realtors. Again, all of these, you want to explore how do you work together. They all need to be members of the chamber, but to come out and go, oh, you need to be a member of the chamber, it's like, I'm gonna give you a script, I'm gonna give you a different way of approaching it, but these are organizations that you want to collaborate and really find out how to work together. Also, Florida's Bankers Association. Again, I'm gonna send Tammy a list. Florida Medical Association, National Restaurant Association, Hotel and Lodging Associations, insurance agents, home builders, mortgage associations. So there's nursery growers and landscape associations. I mean, again, I always like to look at where is the biggest body of people that we can support. All right, we've got a few more here. Keep going. Nonprofit organizations. There are some really large nonprofit organizations, SCORE Association, United Way, Red Cross. And so you may say, well, like I have down here, Boys and Girls Club of America. You may say, well, how is that going to tie in with the chamber? What is there to do? Well, what I found is that each of these organizations usually do some pretty dynamic fundraiser events. And at these fundraiser events are a lot of influencers, a lot of business owners, individuals that are involved in other endeavors. They might be investing in other endeavors. And so aligning with those nonprofits can be really powerful. Art and cultural organizations, museums, theater groups, food banks, homeless shelters. These are all things that you can look at in your area of nonprofits. And I know another chamber that we have, they actually have a nonprofit committee. They have their own events that they do to support nonprofits. They bring in nonprofit speakers. So this is another great way to build membership because they serve in that vertical within their chamber, the nonprofits. So be thinking about, if you don't have that in what you're doing, how can you support and bring in more nonprofits? Because as you know, the chamber is a great way for them to get the support that they need and be able to market what they need. So just a couple more, and then I'm going to share with you how to connect with them and some ideas around that. So government agencies, a lot of you guys know this already, but the SBA is a great one. Again, our local chamber, I think it's great. They actually have had SCORE come in and meet with members and use their chamber building to bring people in to do those SCORE meetings. Again, the EDC, your local mayors, governments, and I know that a lot of them can become trustees and really join and partner with you. So you want to identify those government agencies that you can partner with. Department of Labor, like I said here, we did the Department of Transportation and had the head of Florida come in and talk. Last few, I'm not going to go into examples of those, but tourism boards, industry-specific organizations, educational institutes. We have also in our area, we have a representative that represents Brevard County School District. And she is actually a liaison for businesses to be able to get their businesses into our school system and be able to work and partner with the school system and guides people to do that. So if you do not have somebody on your team that's focused on partnership, I know we have membership individuals and sponsorship individuals, you may want to consider what would that look like and how, is that something that you may look at funding for to really bring in somebody that's focused on collaboration and partnership and building this part of the chamber, because this is, you get one or two really good partnerships, it can grow your base, it can grow your reach, and really put you on the map. All right, before I tell you how, let me just tell you a couple of important things with that. You want to identify common goals. So before embarking on the partnership and collaboration, it's important to identify what are the common goals and objectives. So I'm going to tell you how to ways to reach out with them, but it's good to put that time in up front so that you can make sure there's no misunderstandings, conflicts down the road, and really, a lot of that's being clear on your goals and objectives and taking the time to discover theirs. You really got to show up and say, tell me what you're up to. Knowing that it may be a no, might not be a good match. Hey, this sounds great. I really enjoyed meeting you. I love what you're doing. We're kind of going in a different direction, but I would love to stay in touch. And if there's ways that we can support you, great. But getting clear and identifying your common goals are important. Leveraging each other's strengths. So by partnering with other organizations, you can complement each other's strengths and capability. I know a lot of chambers are so busy that marketing, it's like, I've kind of kidded around with Nancy. We would go in and do marketing parties. I loved it. I was like, Nancy, let's go in and let's bring in all the chamber, people that wanted to learn marketing. And I would lead like a 2 or 3 hour workshop with laptops and having them work on the marketing. I feel like every chamber could have 1 or 2, 3 marketing people. But that may not be your best served time. So finding a marketing partner, a media partner, maybe somebody that does some sort of exchange to make your flyers, make your banners. A marketing partner is a good example of somebody that you could leverage their strength. A technology partner, right? Technology partners is another one that I feel chambers can have. And I really believe that and this is kind of I look forward maybe in the Q&A to hear what you guys think. I like to tell people that we don't do exclusivity. We may have a few partners. That's one of the core things up front with identifying common goals is managing that expectation of, hey, we're going to work with you and we'll keep that communication, but we may need 2 or 3 marketing partners, or we may need 2 or 3 individuals. So I like to let people know up front that we don't do exclusivity. There may be exclusive thing that they do, but that's another part. Use marketing to amplify your message. So with these collaborating organizations, especially with events or driving interest to certain things that may be happening, when you meet with these individuals, really look at what are some of the digital tools, the social media tools. How will you cross promote? How will you share what you're doing? Are they going to share email campaigns? Are you willing to share email campaigns? It's important to come up with what are things that you feel comfortable bringing to the partnership. What are things that you can do in the partnership that add value? I know at our chamber, I love every single week, they add specific events of partners. That's huge. If they're involved in the event, they add it, and that's a great opportunity with links. So coming up with how what it is that you can offer and how to market and amplify each other's messages is really important. The other piece is build long-term relationships. As I mentioned, that we're talking about this, and it kind of sounds like it's transactional, but it's really important to go into this looking at working towards shared goals over the long haul. It's also okay to go, hey, let's try this out on this event, right? You don't want to get into a 9-year contract or a 5-year contract when it's a new relationship. I find it's important to kind of test things, and especially in the event space, to see how do we work together. Make sure you do your due diligence on them, right? Like if you're working with a nonprofit, you might want to go do their background on what are they doing with their funding and things like that. So do your due diligence, but also really look at the relationship as a long-term relationship. You're building it for the long term. And the last thing I really want to highlight is stay nimble and adaptable. And I think you guys have become masters of that with all that we've done. I mean, it's like business landscape is constantly changing. And there's new opportunities, new challenges. And so it's really important to stay flexible, be adaptable, ensure that the partnership stays relevant, and that you put the partnership, first. And so for me, I know in our partnerships, we have regular check-ins. We put it on the calendar, and then when we're done with the check-in, we book the next one. Hey, let's check in 60 days. Let's check in 30 days. Now, events, you got to do a little more. You may be working together closely, weekly, things like that. But if it's a partnership where you're maybe collaborating marketing and things like that as an ongoing partnership, it's important to do that continual check-in. How can I support you? What are you up to? And checking in on the latest news and successes and challenges. Those relationships over time are important. So stay nimble and adaptable. And Tammy, if you want to start letting them in, while I just go through how to contact some of these people. And again, I'll provide this script for you at the end, and use it as your own, but I think it's pretty good. Our chamber is interested in exploring a partnership with your organization to work together to benefit our community. Right? So you're putting the goal right up front. We believe that by joining forces, we can make a greater impact and achieve more success. We see lots of value in working with an organization like yours, and we think our respective strengths and resources could be very complementary. We have some ideas for how we could work together, such as joint fundraising efforts, promoting each other's events, collaborating on advocacy efforts, and providing more value to our members through joint programming. We also love to hear your ideas and how we can work together to achieve our shared goals. Please let us know if you're interested in exploring a further partnership. We'd be happy to set up a meeting time to discuss this in more details. And so that's how you're casting the vision to see what's going on and really setting the stage for what's happening and what you want to accomplish. And so with that, I'd love to be able to open up. Yes, we are going to share this in writing, absolutely. And I'm going to share, because I had a lot of ideas of who to connect with, because I want you to, I'm hoping that this inspires you to really look at who can you partnership with and what can you do? What can you do to really grow your chamber and grow your events through those connections? So
they should be able to unmute and speak, Shannon.
Yay! So if you
If
want
not,
to
somebody tell me.
And we also often use the word investment. Yeah, so investment in this, when I think of collaboration, and I would love to hear a little bit more maybe of the context of that if you're open to sharing it. Investment to me, I usually go to pouring out and having to give. And I know in the collaboration space, for me, collaborating lightens the load, right? So I use investment when I'm trying to get money, right? Or I'm having somebody pay for something, or I'm having somebody where I won't, like this is what they're doing. In this collaboration space and reaching out to people, I probably would not use the word investment. I would probably stick a little more to the script, usually in context replacement for membership dues. Oh, yeah. So I also use the word in-kind exchange. That getting into barter, you start getting into taxes and all, there's a whole other thing in barter. So we often use the word in-kind exchange for services that are there. Thank you so much for that. Any other questions that I can ask? So I want to share another story with you that I think is really impactful. I want to invite you to open up to people's ideas and taking time for people's ideas. I saw here, I saw here where I had an idea for the chamber, and I went to a chamber, and they were very much, you have to be a member, you have to do this, you have to, it was like they wouldn't even meet with our group until we did certain things. And I have to tell you, I feel like it was kind of a costly mistake. And if you're here on the phone or on the chat, please bear with me. Because I went to another chamber, and we went to the other chamber, and they were like, oh my goodness, we love the idea. We can do this, this, and this. And we put Nancy's chamber at the forefront of doing Zoom meetings and doing all kinds of things, because first off, she was at least open to having the conversation. You would be amazed at how many brilliant ideas come to the forefront from being open. I just pitched Nancy here locally, like, I'm really excited about starting a food network. I think our farmers and our grocery stores and our hotels, I think we have such a disconnect in the food industry right now that bringing all of these people together can elevate and create a really powerful ecosystem. That a lot of them are silo on their own. They're not doing bulk buys, and so to me, I think it's a great idea. I went and pitched it to Nancy, and she's like, "Oh my gosh!" I said, "Look, we can probably get farmers to join the chamber. We can get lots of other people." Now, if she wouldn't have been, now granted I'm a member, but if she wouldn't have been open to hearing the idea, to me this is like, I'm hoping to bring in 300 new members, 400 new members that are in these silos, right, that are alone, and really showing them the value of collaboration, but also really positioning the Chamber of Commerce of, this is one of the hubs that helps bring together the food ecosystem that's there, that's really important. So as you're looking at collaborating, I want to invite you to be open to getting innovative ideas, open to thinking, beyond how the chamber normally runs to what's possible out in the community. Because if you have somebody that's willing to do the legwork, and strategize on how to help you grow, that openness can potentially help you grow. All right, I think I talked a lot. And I know we have 15 more minutes. I see Jasmine, I see Allison, I see Robin and Tina, and I'm calling your names because I'm hoping that you'll
somebody say something, please.
Yeah, come in and say.
Let us know at least that you can say something. I'm worried that you're trying and you can't.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yay. Hi, Allison.
Yeah.
Hi. I wasn't here for the whole thing. Sorry, I had an appointment that ran late, but I got in at the point where you were talking about in the word investment, and I was trying to type a message and it said chat was disabled, but then I saw the group chat and then I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just wait for them to say something else.
Perfect. Well, go ahead. Did you have a question?
I was just going to say, we use the term here, partner.
Yes.
So I don't know how that relates to what you were talking about. Like I said, I'm sorry I missed the first part of it.
Yeah, that's a great, partner is really a powerful powerful word. There's a legal context to it, so I'm not sure how that works with, I know in business, we're mindful of how we use the word partner. But yeah, partner is perfect for what we're talking about today with collaboration. We want to partner together. We want to see what's
Business
possible.
partner, that's
Yes.
the terminology. So we have different levels based upon business partner or community partner. And that's how how we have them named.
Yes, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing, Allison. So Debbie, you asked a really valuable question, and that's where setting the kind of vision up front. We're here to support the community as a whole. We don't do exclusivity, right? And if that's what you're looking for, then please understand that that's not how we operate. We believe that there's plenty for everybody. We believe that when you come together and you find out each other that there may be something that this other organization likes to do that you don't, and you can start collaborating together. And so it's up to us as chambers and leaders to really set the tone up front and let them know that when we collaborate, that all ships rise, right? It's like this is and it's not always a fun conversation, but we do it at the Business Acceleration Network. Like, we don't do exclusivity. It's just not how we work. And then I actually work to bring people together and help foster conversations to find those things, the strengths and ways to collaborate. And we've actually had people start their own associations based upon pulling them together and saying, hey, how do we work together in our community to grow? That's a really good one. Anybody else want to share?
I'll share something.
Thank
I don't
you,
have a
Debbie.
chamber anymore, but when I had one, we used to partner with SCORE a lot for doing our award judging for small business awards. That way, it took the chamber out of the middle. We would go to SCORE, and they would have their members judge all of our applications. And they're all retired executives, so it worked well. So just things like that, and sometimes it doesn't have to be a collaboration that's out very public, even though everybody that applied knew that they were they didn't know who they were. They knew they were SCORE judges, but you can also work with them on things like that are not necessarily long-term or long projects.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah, it's really amazing how many people are looking for community and collaborating, but we just got to ask. Right? They want to help. Anybody else want to share a successful collaboration that you have, or anybody want to share maybe is there, I didn't touch on this, but is there a fear or concern around collaborating?
Hey, this is Gabrielle Hamilton from the Walton Area Chamber. I don't have a fear, but we are doing something really exciting this year with our gala. We are working with the local technical college to create our awards because they got a Glowforge machine and they have a welding class and they get a certification and they have some cool things going on. So instead of just getting your normal plaque or acrylic award, they are doing a hand created welded wooden stained Glowforge award, and we think it's super cool.
That's awesome. That is great. Yeah, I think if you make a list of areas that you need support, or hey, this would be cool, you'll find that there's a lot of people that want to be involved. Thank you for sharing that. That's a great idea. All right, any other questions? And then I'm going to pop up one more slide so you know how we can connect. And then I'm going to do a quick recap. So those of you that came in late, I'll just do some quick bullet points. But any other questions you may have? All right. So here's contact information. If you go to meetshannon.com, we can connect on all the social media or email. There's our office number. Anything that we can do to help in this arena. Love having the conversation around collaboration. Also have a special skill in creating agreements for sustainable partnerships and how to have those conversations that really mitigate challenges or conflict and things like that. And so when you get into these relationships, it is important to discuss, how will we manage change and how will we manage conflict, and to have those conversations up front allow you to really know what to do, because we all know things happen. We all know change happens all the time. And so for me, one of the things that we have in our agreement is, if something's not working or something's not bugging you, please let us know within like 24 or 48 hours, and we're going to make some time to meet with you within 24 to 48 hours. And that we agree to not get into storytelling, not go and talk to somebody else about it that might kind of poison the river, to really go directly to the source. And so we have these type of conversations right up front, and just assuming that there could be challenges that can happen, and here's how to do it. So my gift before we get going is, those of you that didn't hear me talk at the prior event, I've been able to garner millions of dollars in free press, and I have a book called Media Magic. And so if you go to MediaMagicBook.com, you can download it for free. This has templates in it on press releases that get picked up. It also has how to create power bios. Also, it's a workbook. Ways to talk in the form of benefits versus features. It has power words, over 100 of the most powerful words to use in your marketing. And this is a great resource, how to write taglines that sizzle, to really help you in your marketing efforts. So going once, going twice before any final questions. All right, so I'm just going to do a quick recap. And if you have questions that come up, we got why we collaborate, value to our members, more successful events, strengthening our community, building sustainable future, and ultimately membership that grows through collaboration. You want to identify who those organizations are, what's a common goal, leveraging each other's strengths. So you got to be clear on what your strengths are. And what you kind of bring together. Use marketing to amplify your messages. Talk about how you can market and what those strategies are. Look at building long-term relationships and stay nimble and adaptable. And then some of the organizations that you want to consider is, other chambers of commerce, media outlets. And again, I'll give Tammy all these lists of even more idea. Local business associations, economic development organizations, trade associations, nonprofit organizations, government agencies, even some of your members. There may be members, I didn't mention that can be a good partner. Like we have somebody here who is a public speaker on diversity, and he's doing work in Tallahassee, and he's doing a lot of work within corporations. And so even though he doesn't have a big association, he has a lot of influence. So are there influencers also that you may want to partner with? Tourism boards, community groups, and educational institutes. Are there, and I love that partnership that you did, and it kind of brings up the idea that partnerships, some of these individuals have locations. A lot of universities and schools and things like that have space available. I know a lot of chambers do things within their organization or in their buildings, but maybe there's a school or other areas or hotels or individuals that may be open to contributing space and things like that for some of what you're doing. So with that, any other questions, Tammy? I know I'm a little bit shorter. I don't know.
No, you're good. Robert Galtz asked, can you again tell them how to get their free copy of the book, electronic copy?
Yes, go to MediaMagicBook.com. MediaMagicBook.com. Thank you. I missed that one.
I took a lot of notes. I think everyone else did too. I had some people type in the chat that they were making notes as well. So Shannon, thank you so much for being with us today. We're going to be in Cocoa Beach in May, so you have to stop by and see everybody, but you and I'll chat way before then. So just thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today and sharing your ideas. I always walk away with a lot of good notes every time we talk, whether it's a webinar or just a quick phone call that we have. So thank you again. And I thank everybody for being on the call with us today. And as soon as I receive information from Shannon, I'll send it out to everybody. So thank
And
you again,
thank you,
Shannon.
Tammy, for being the hub for all of them. You really are, you model what I'm talking about today for all of them. So thank you for what you do.
You're very kind. Thank you for helping. So have a great rest of your day, everybody.
Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.